Hey guys, I missed you. Let's get into it. Are you tired of chasing success and financial stability only to find yourself lacking true happiness and meaning in life? It's time to shift your focus and unlock the secret to genuine fulfillment. Success on paper won't guarantee internal happiness. Instead, shift your focus to what truly matters and is within your control. You can't stop global warming by yourself. You can't end world hunger by yourself. You can't create world peace by yourself. It's just simply impossible. While you can't solve global crises single-handedly, there is one area that you do have power to transform, and that's your relationships. Your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your family, your romantic partner, your friends, and your community. Easier said than done, I know. It takes a lot of proactive work to maintain relationships and not feel like you're bothering anyone. And I admit that the negative thoughts start swirling, and I can get bitter when it feels that I'm always the one to reach out first. And I've folded to this mindset many times before, and all that happened was I became bitter, anxious, and untrusting. Worst of all, I ended up lonely with no friends. Like, surprising, right? The harsh truth of being an adult is that people are just as tired, worried, and preoccupied as you. And I had to learn that in order for me to have the type of relationships that I wanted, I was going to have to take responsibility and be the one to reach out first. Taking responsibility of your relationships. Yourself. Your relationship with yourself changes dramatically over time. And after being removed from adolescence and pushed into the real world, you realize that most of the things that you thought were important are actually completely meaningless. I wanted everyone to like me. I wanted to be everyone's friend. And I was so terrified of becoming an outcast. And ultimately, that led me to become just a chameleon, changing my personality to try to fit in. And when I took a long, hard look in the mirror, all I saw was a fraud who didn't even know who he was. I needed to change. I had to ask myself, who am I now? And who do I want to be? I didn't have an answer, and honestly, that shit was so frustrating. Like, I'm myself. How the hell do I not know what I want to do? How do I not know anything about myself? And I had an epiphany at that moment. I wanted so badly to be liked by everyone else that I was following their dreams instead of mine. And I came up with two scenarios. One, what would my life look like in the next 6 months if I kept on being a loser and let the shit hit the fan? And two, what would my life look like in 6 months if I lived true to my ideal self? The results were eye-opening, to say the least. Realizing that I was closer to the former really scared the shit out of me. And so that's when I stopped caring so much about what other people thought of me and started focusing more on what I thought of myself. As long as I was working hard and stuck to the promises that I made myself, then I could live a life that I was proud of. Family. Relationships with family is something that I have a hard time talking about. And I was blessed, so blessed to be raised by two amazing parents in a loving household with lots of family around. But I realize that that is not everyone's situation. Parents get divorced, family members die, and people may not even know who their family is. But whatever your family situation, I believe in the saying, blood is thicker than water. We have this built-in feature to prioritize family over non-family, and that's just human nature. This, of course, will mean different things to different people. But for example, some of my cousins are having kids now, and I want to be around so I can help take care of my nieces and nephews. Like, my parents' generation seems so close compared to my generation, and I just want to do my part in keeping the family together. And while I believe that what I said is true, that blood is thicker than water, your family are people too. People who have a life and goals, fears and relationships, jobs, priorities, and all the other things that every other human has to worry about. So, taking the time and effort to make these bonds stronger is worth its weight in gold, in my opinion. Romantic partner. Hot boy summer is fucking done out. I don't know which is worse, Being in a relationship just for the sake of being in a relationship, or hooking up with a bunch of different people every week with no real plan on taking it further. Now, I've done both, and I was terribly unhappy during each era because I was just using it to cover up the fact that I was lonely and longing for a real connection. And when you start adulting, your romantic preferences change drastically. People usually fall into one of two camps. Either having such high standards that they filter out 99% of the population, or have no standards, wasting time trying to make things work with people that they don't even like. And in both scenarios, you just end up lonely and bitter because you end up believing that the world is only full of low-quality assholes, which just straight up isn't true. Somewhere in the middle, there is a sweet spot full of sweet hearts. You will find a partner that you can build a healthy relationship with. It just takes time, effort, and communication. Let me say that again. Time, effort, and communication. Don't get it twisted. Commitment is really fucking scary. You're putting all your eggs into one basket, trusting the other person doesn't just drop it and run. And in a generation full of anxious people who run away at the slightest sign of commitment, you end up feeling trapped, and that type of pressure is simply too much for a lot of people to handle. With the knowledge that 50% of marriages end in divorce, and the tensions between men and women, and how the dating market is made up of people who want commitment without commitment, it's just no wonder that men and women are divided right now. It was only after I really took the time to see it from the other perspective, to see it from the girl's point of view, that I realized that we are all just people searching for true love. As corny as it sounds, it's true. This is how it changed for me. I started to embrace myself for who I was. I stopped worrying so much about if they liked me and started focusing more on if I liked them. I accepted the fact that I had to work for the relationships that I wanted. And just like the saying goes, it always comes when you least expect it. Ooh, that was fire! Friendships. Friendships change a lot when you start growing up. People drift away, life gets busy, and people change. You will outgrow 99% of the people you become friends with, and that's totally okay. You are the average of the 5 people you hang around most. And when it's time for adulting, you realize that you have to let some people go. It hurts, it's sad, it's scary, and it sucks, but it's a necessary part of growing up. I had a large friend group in high school, and I stuck around because I really loved those guys. But I grew up, and a lot of them didn't. I wanted to move on with my life and go and do other things, and they could only see me as the stupid 16-year-old boy that I was when they met me. When it came time to shed those relationships, I realized that I only had a couple of close friends that I can confide with and celebrate with. People who we want the best for each other, we help each other out, we celebrate our accomplishments together. Now that is real love. Instead of focusing on a large group of shallow friendships, being committed to the ones that really mattered is what ultimately brought me the most joy. Community. When I moved to California, I left for selfish reasons. I hated my hometown and the way that it made me feel. I just couldn't handle it emotionally, and I just ran. And when I came back, I ended up finding a new appreciation for the place that I grew up in. Being around family is so nice. Being around friends is so nice. Having a stable home to go to is such a blessing. And it was the little connections that I made here and there that really ended up bringing this place to life for me. Talking to my therapist, the nice pharmacist ladies over at Publix, the sweet lady who works at the gas station, the Starbucks barista who seems to always be there whenever I go in, and like even the nice Indian man at the Indian restaurant who gave me extra naan for free. Like, it's just these little things that bring me so much joy in my day-to-day life. It's these little connections I make with people who probably forget I exist the moment I walk away. It makes me think that the world isn't as big and bad and scary as, honestly, I once believed. Taking responsibility really is the key to nurturing relationships. It may seem challenging, but the rewards are really worth it. Now, let's go over what I said one more time just so it really sticks in your head. 1. Reflect on yourself. 2. Authenticity matters. 3. Initiate and reach out. 4. Prioritize family bonds. 5. Seek meaningful romantic connections. 6. Quality over quantity in friendships. Number 7. Appreciate community connections. Number 8. Practice empathy and understanding. 9. Communicate and listen. 10. Make time for relationships. The path to genuine happiness and fulfillment lies in the meaningful relationships that we cultivate along our adulting journey. It's time to take charge and invest in the connections that truly matter with yourself, with your family, your romantic partners, your friends, and your community. Try to let go of the societal pressures and prioritize these bonds. Embrace authenticity, invest time and effort, and communicate openly. I can't state that enough. The power to create a joyful life really is in your hands. So step up, nurture those relationships, and you will unlock the extraordinary happiness that awaits you on the other side. Because honestly, your happiness is waiting. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTuber things. I love you. Mwah. Now get out of here.